Yay, we're finally here, you all. Hello, audience and Facebook. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for bearing with us during our short technical difficulties managing on Facebook, as well as their changes, as well with YouTube. I want to welcome you to our National Homeless Youth Awareness Month. For us, we get very excited about this time of year. One, because it's an opportunity for us to bring awareness and to recognize the issues centered around Homeless Youth Awareness Month and its impacts on our young people that are oftentimes forgotten and not spoken about. And it's really also an opportunity to shine a light on our unhoused youth and young adults and those who are facing housing insecurity. So this year's theme is centered around youth overcoming. And it really centers on the resiliency of young people to thrive while managing through life circumstances. It's also a reflection of just how just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and people connections are crucial to their forward mobility. And so what I want to do is share with you some statistics that are related to Homeless Youth Awareness Month that I think are important for us all to really center our heads on for today. And one being that here in the nation, almost 4.2 million young adults are experiencing, youth and young adults are experiencing homelessness. And that number has continued to rise over the past couple of years. And even locally here within Los Angeles County, we know that almost 5,000 youth on any given night experiences homelessness and are on the streets and unsheltered. And 25% of that number is here within South Los Angeles. So that means it's really reflective of what's happening not only in our nation, but even what's happening at our front doors within our community. And in the South Bay, of course, on any given night, about 160 youth experience homelessness. But when we talk about any given night, we also have to reflect on what's happening within our educational system, right? And by the most recent counts by the Los Angeles County Office of Education, they recently reported that 57,700, which is almost 60,000 K through 12 youth are experiencing homelessness. And so although these stats may appear to be or sound alarming, what we need to take from this is how can we continue to be a village of support, as well as how can we individually be change agents on behalf of our youth and young adults. And behind every number is a human being, as well as a story of resiliency. Right now, we're all caught up with what's happening with the elections. I know that some of us are experiencing high levels of stress, and that should be right, and that's rightfully so, because we know that a lot of what happens within our government impacts the quality of life of our youth. But we also know too that government doesn't do it all on our youth and young adults' behalf. And because they don't do it all, it's really about us, about what happens in our neighborhoods, what happens locally in our within our clergy or within our congregations or within even some of our community groups. It's all of those little things, again, that help us change the narrative around youth overcoming. And that's why this theme is so, I would say, progressive thinking, right? Because our overall arching goal of whether it's Homeless Youth Awareness Month or addressing crises that youth encounter is about how do we help them overcome and what happens when they do overcome. So we have a news break ourselves, and our news break is we are going to be sharing with you our Homeless Youth Awareness Month yard installation. And for those of you, I'm getting my screen prepared, who are familiar with Sanctuary of Hope and our Adams location, who are familiar with our Adams location, are familiar with a lot of the social awareness that we are undergoing as an agency using our front yard. And so if you happen to be around or in the Crenshaw West Adams area on 10th and Adams, you will be able to see our Homeless Youth Awareness Month yard installation. And we're very excited about this installation because it gives us a whole month of visuals to continue to add stories around young people who are unhoused, as well as young people who are experiencing housing insecurity within our communities. So what are we kicking off today? Well, what we're kicking off today, for one, is some of our community leaders, our community, I would say village anchors, who have been with us for a long time, since the beginning of all of our awareness activities for the month of November. One being Pastor Sauls, who has been with us since our inception around youth homelessness, and our staff that run and lead our organizations within South Los Angeles and the South Bay. And so we are going to kick off our Homeless Youth Awareness Month with a short video led by, or starting with Pastor Calvin Sauls.
Greetings, beloved. I am Pastor Calvin Sauls. It is a joy for me to be here at Sanctuary of Hope to share some thoughts around Homeless Awareness Month and to see how it is that we can, in the city and county of Los Angeles, continue to come together to see how we can connect with, collaborate with, and coordinate with Sanctuary of Hope to see how we can be responsive to the needs of our young people, especially our transition age youth, as they are challenged, with homelessness and all other related challenges because of their experience. One thing that really excites me about the awareness of this month is it reminds us that we still have a challenge around youth homelessness here in the city and county of Los Angeles. We are a championship city here in Los Angeles, and there's been much jubilation around that. But I sometimes wonder whether that is a true evaluation of what a championship city can be about. In my estimation, as a commissioner serving on LASA, is to see how we can be a championship city by championing the needs and the assistance that we can provide, especially in a proactive and a preventative way, to the needs of our young people. I believe that, when we do not do this and we do not deal with this moral crisis of homelessness and houselessness in the city and county of Los Angeles, it's almost like we are relegating some Angelinos to be lesser angels. And sometimes that can be the subliminal message that we are sending to our young people. So during this month of youth homelessness awareness, it invites us to see how we can not just shine the spotlight on the challenge around youth homelessness, but also to see how we can provide support and show solidarity for so many of our partners and our organizations that are working on preventing. With that prevention, to see how we can facilitate intervention, and then eventually the elimination of youth homelessness in the city and the county of Los Angeles. So with this awareness comes advocacy, of course. With this awareness comes action. And that's why I'm so excited about the theme that Sanctuary of Hope has placed on this month, and especially for the upcoming events, and that is simply overcoming. I think that is a very, very powerful theme that sends a very, very powerful message, a message that really invites us into action. I'm reminded that Scripture teaches us in Romans chapter 8 that we've been made more than conquerors, overcomers in this life. Romans chapter 8 is my favorite chapter, and within that pericope we find the word, what it means to be an overcomer. And so I believe that as we make our way through this month, it invites us to see how, in the first place, we can acknowledge the humanity of our young people who are challenged with homelessness. Secondly, we can affirm the dignity of our young people who are challenged with homelessness. And then thirdly, we can see how we can advance the resiliency of our young people as they deal with the challenge of homelessness, as they deal with the vulnerable situations that they may find themselves into. And so I want to once again congratulate Sanctuary of Hope and all of our partners on their ongoing work to see how we can shine the spotlight, provide support, and show solidarity with our young people as we deal with this moral crisis called youth homelessness. And I'm looking forward to continue to be on the front lines with you, whether we are in the streets or whether we are in the suites making policy that will facilitate racial equity for our young people who are homeless, especially our black young people, African Americans and black immigrants. So congratulations, and looking forward to our ongoing work and walk together.
Everyone, it's HYAM time. That's right, Homeless Youth Awareness Month. And I'd like to thank you all for tuning in with us for our kickoff. As many of you may know, there's a homelessness plaguing our country right now. Lots of youth right here in South LA are experiencing homelessness, and I would like for you to join in with us in this fight to end homelessness in South LA by getting informed. That's right. Don't think about it. Don't ponder about it. Don't pray about it. Just do it.
It's November, guys.
Hey everyone, it's that time of the year again. It's our Homeless Youth Awareness Month. To get things started, we have Lulu introducing our first panel, Overcoming. Shout out to Lulu, shout out to our youth. I'm sure it's gonna be an amazing conversation and you'll be in for a major big treat. Woo!
Shout out to Youth Homeless Awareness Month. Real informative.
Hi, so I'm Lulu. I'm Sanctuary of Hope's Prevention and Diversion Coordinator, and I would first like to thank you all for joining us on our National Homeless Youth Awareness Month panel 2020 edition. I think the theme of the entire year is pretty much overcoming. First, I'd like to say that I work at Sanctuary of Hope's Spa 8 location in the South Bay. We have our own youth access center that youth come to receive different services. I work with justice involved youth and youth whose familial situations sort of make them have a little bit higher barriers to receive services. So I work with them. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to define what the word overcome means. I think it's very clear for all of us to have a common understanding. So overcome, it means to succeed in dealing with a problem or a difficulty, to defeat an opponent, to prevail, and overcoming of an emotion, to overpower. So I think with 2020, everything going on, that's something that we've all taken with all these challenges of this every month seems to be hitting us, for us to overcome, overpower our emotions, to kind of find that stability of life and that situation where we're not only just growing in, but we're really thriving in. I think that's what our youth are going to talk to us about today and really show us how they've been able to overcome all the situations. So I first want to introduce the panel. We have Khadijah Thomas. She is a Sanctuary of Hope Rapid Rehousing participant. We have Rob Small and Cam Grayson. They're both Sanctuary of Hope Bridge and Housing Navigation graduates. And we have Adam Walker. He's a Connect LA participant and a student. So everybody can just kind of wave their hands. Hi, everybody. Hey. So we can start with Khadijah first. And I'll go in order with each question. But just tell me a little bit about yourself right now and who you are.
Well, my name is Khadijah. What do you call it? What did you just call me? A participant of the Sanctuary of Hope. That's what you call me?
The Rapid Rehousing participant.
Okay, yeah. I just became a participant in the Rapid Rehousing program. And I've been in the program for a few months and I just moved into my place. I was homeless for almost a year. I'm 21 years old, working on going back to school and working again, looking for a part-time job.
Okay. Congratulations on going back to school. It's a beautiful accomplishment.
Thank you.
And then Rob and Cam. So a little bit about yourself, how you guys see yourself.
Well, I'm Cam, obviously. I'm a participant graduate. I've been through most of the programs that this program offers. I've been through Rapid Rehousing, and now I'm in my own place, my own apartment. I'm 21, and right now I'm just focusing more on my goals and getting used to, being adulting, apartment life.
Well, my name is Rob. I've been, how long we with the program? For I don't even remember, like a year or so. I'm currently working, and I'm looking forward to get back to filming and, just progressing from there.
Okay, great. And Adam, yourself, tell me a little bit about yourself right now.
So I'm Adam Walker, like they said. I actually was part of the Rapid Rehousing program as well. I just had a different calling. I ended up with the Rapid Rehousing program. I ended up Sanctuary House Hope ended up finding me housing, and then I just had like a reminiscence, just kind of like a vision, from God. Told me that you need to take a next step in your life. So right now I go to Grambling State University. I live in Louisiana, Ruston, Louisiana. I got my own apartment out here. Sanctuary helped me with that a lot. So like I said, right now I'm just here in Louisiana, chilling. The semester's winding down. I've been here since August 8th. I moved out my apartment that Sanctuary Hope helped me get August 6th, and I got here August 8th.
Wow. And what are you going to be studying at Grambling? You have an idea?
So my history, my major is history right now. It's history with a concentration in law and society with a minor in Black studies. And what I've been researching, I really want to do now, I've just my life path has kind of changed again. I actually been thinking about going to law school and getting into a dual program, getting into a MPA JD program where I can get my master's in public administration and a JD at the same time so I can take the bar.
Oh, great. That's great. Cool. So we'll go next question. Whoever wants to answer first, whoever feels more confident. What were the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome in order for you to grow to be the person you are today?
I feel like I can answer that right off the bat, just because that was like one of my biggest issues is just having overcome myself. Really, that was really the biggest issue, is myself, my depression, my lack of motivation. You know, I was living in my car in like certain places here and there before, so it'd be nice where I was just feeling like I was bawling, crying because I just didn't know what to do. You know, I didn't know where to go. I couldn't really have anything. Like I just didn't have. I feel like I didn't have any answers. And the biggest thing was just like I said, just was the depression, and then me being like, I being a prideful individual, not really wanting to ask for help. And then when I did ask for help, I only wanted it a certain way. You know, I wanted it this way where it could be less, like, I guess, humiliating to me or whatever, like save my pride or save face. So that's just one of the biggest things for me, is I had to break myself down to build myself up, because I was already here at a certain point for myself. I was here after, but then I got into the real world, and I knew and I realized where I thought I was here, I was, you know, way down here. And then the stuff that I had built up, the building blocks that I had built upon, weren't really stable. So I had to chop them all down and start from the ground level and build it up, you know? So like I don't know how long, you know, like I said, it's Homeless Youth Awareness Month. I don't know how long anybody else was homeless, but I was homeless for about 2.5 years. And like the first couple months was the hardest, you know, just because I didn't have a car or anything like that. So before I was able to get into somebody's house for the first month, about first 3 to 4 weeks, I was, you know, sleeping in bushes on park benches and stuff. You know, I didn't realize how hard it was, like, being homeless. Like, the hardest part for me, what blew my mind, it wasn't even figuring out a place to sleep or figuring out a place to, like, you know, be cool. It was trying to figure out a place to, like, make yourself clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, make yourself, like, getting your, like, you know, your necessities, being able to use the bathroom in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Brush your teeth, take a shower. You know, after 3 or 4 days, you start to stink and stuff start turning black that you didn't think turned black. Like, it starts to blow your mind, you know what I mean? It starts to put a lot of stuff into perspective. And yeah, and that's just what it was for me. That was probably one of my biggest obstacles, is just kind of settling into that new lifestyle I was in, and then like having to be able to deal with adversity and change it, because you never know when somebody's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, my mama said you got to go now, you can't stay here no more, or like, yeah, like, I don't want you here no more because my boyfriend getting out of jail, whatever it was. That's the stuff I done heard for surely, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just having to deal with that depression and be able to kick back and bounce back. That's probably was my biggest obstacle.
I'll say my biggest obstacle, well, I wouldn't call it the biggest one, but it was coming to accept, like, during the process of us even sleeping in the car, that people showed their true colors, you know, people that you would look out for during their times of need. Mm-hmm. And then when it's, you know, how should I say it? During their times of need, you looked out for them. Then now, you know, when it's, how should I say it? I wouldn't call it a favor, but you would expect, like, you know, like, since I looked out for you, could look out for me. It just came to the point I had to accept that, like, you know, they showed their true colors, and, you know, I just have to cut them off. No matter how long I knew them, no matter how long we've been cool, just, you know, I just have to accept that. And as well as overcoming self, meaning like moving forward, you know, like pretty much what he said, pride, you know, kind of felt weird, especially as a young man, like, dang, I'm going through this. I don't really want nobody to know what I'm going through. It's kind of like I felt like embarrassed, you know, but then as time progressed, I came to the conclusion that, you know, it's a life situation that everybody go through, or that most people go through. The key thing is to keep moving forward, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just as Rob said, like, my biggest obstacle was myself. A lot of pride, you know, the people around you at the time when you at your most lowest, is like, you want to keep your pride up. You want to kind of go with what they going. So it was more of like a pride thing for me, not wanting to seek help because I wanted to do what I wanted to do, even though I was like struggling and not trying to ask for help in the very like first few months of being homeless.
Yeah, like everyone said, depression was one of the things that I was going through, like being depressed or just stressed, like, where am I going to lay my head for the night? Where am I going to wash my back? Or what am I going to eat? What am I going to put on my stomach for the night? And then another thing is people, when you have something and something is going good for you, and they're around, like they're here to cheer you on when that's going good. But when you need something and down and around, ain't nobody around. They can't help you with nothing. It's like, you all by yourself.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. So how did you, I'll start with Khadijah first. How did you learn to identify your barriers then to success? And how did they impact you?
Can you kind of be like more?
Yeah, so like everything that you felt was like kind of like in your way, how did you learn to identify it? Like be like, that's in my way, this is in my way, like I have to get past this.
I wouldn't say bad things kept happening, but like negativity kept coming my way. And I felt like nothing was being resolved. Like I wasn't working, I wasn't going to school, I had no place to go. So I had to let all the negativity get away from me, like get it off my chest and then move forward then.
Okay. Anybody else?
For me, it was a little different for me because I didn't start realizing the barriers until I got past them. I kind of went where just like Khadijah said, like a lot of negative stuff would happen to me, like, I would get like, so I was sleeping in my car. While I was homeless, I had one thing about me is that what I'm glad I still had a drive, a motivational force to not like just lay down and roll over. So like while I was homeless in the 2 to 3 years I was homeless, I had about 6-7 cars. Just stuff was getting like, but I was always something happening. Either I was crashing them, they get told by the police, breaking down, something was happening. So that was one of the biggest things, because at that moment in time, like really my car was my home. It was everything. It was my transportation, it was my home. It was everything. It was my kitchen. It was everything. You know what I'm saying? Like my storage, it was everything. So it was one of those things. It was just, and to me, it wasn't really natural. It wasn't really necessarily identifying the barriers. It was just getting past them and then reflecting upon my actions. That's really what it really was. It wasn't really, oh, this is what's my barrier right now. Because I feel like your barriers are kind of, the barriers you see are kind of like obvious. Like a lot of them were saying, like we didn't have a car, jobs, place to stay. Like those barriers are obvious. And then, like you said, depression, those are big barriers right there. I don't really think that's really it. I think those are really the main ones. Everybody has their own specific problems, special to them. But I feel like we already hit on the big issues of everything. So, like I said, like it was just that me just reflecting upon it, and then moving forward. That's another the way I realized the barrier is just like, okay, like when I finally got a new car or when I finally got my new job, I look back and like, what did I do differently? Okay, well, instead of like just applying to jobs every couple of days, like I was making sure I was hitting jobs every single day. I remember I was making sure I was talking to everybody that I think that would give me a job, you know what I'm saying, that I could easily access, or I didn't have to drive, or I didn't have to make it all the way across town just to make this work on time. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I didn't have those tools to be able to be successful as much as somebody else. So I had to make sure all of my like decisions were carefully planned out. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I think like for me, it was just afterwards, after I got through the barriers, after like I pushed through them, is when I started to identify them and realize, okay, this is what I did different. This is what I need to do to keep succeeding.
And Robert Camp?
I would say, I wouldn't say I wasn't around negative people. I would, go to the gym or hoop a lot. The people I would be around at hoop, they wasn't really trying to do nothing after, going to the gym or after training. They were pretty much, how should I say, just want to chill and hang out. And I had to really peep game on how they was moving. I had to change the way how I move, because I know I didn't want to, be stuck with them. So I guess that's answering the question correctly. So kind of, how should I say it? Just like, I just peep game on who I was around. I had to, make different choices than them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much my barriers were identified after the fact that I got out of the rut that I was in. Like my mindset on how I was thinking that I was okay, but I wasn't, or the barriers of me like only doing things haphazardly instead of like putting my all into it. and they impacted my life a lot because once I stopped doing it, things started getting better for me.
It's true.
And Rob and Cam, I'll start with you guys for the next question. Now, with everything going on in this country, we've seen how the quarantine and pandemic has affected everybody. How has the quarantine and pandemic affected you and affected your growth?
As a couple or as individuals or both? Or really
Oh, you can do both.
Well, I can say, from my behalf as a couple, I can say we possibly got, more closer and everything. Because, there's nothing you really can do with, with a lot going on. It just, how should I say it? This made us stronger, to keep pushing no matter what's going on. And as well as an individual, always have to drive. I don't look at on my situation now. I look at the after effect, which I know is going to be great.
Yeah, for me as a couple, again, it made us stronger. It made us realize what our goals are as a couple and as individuals, because you ain't got nothing else to do. You in the house. It makes you think about stuff. It makes you want to change certain things in this time period, because what else can you do? And as an individual, it hasn't affected me much in a negative way, more as in a positive way, as in me wanting to set my goals. Being in a new place, I wanted to be more comfortable, learn new skills. Like, I'm starting to cook more, so quarantine has been kind of good.
And also, I was never the type to even go out once I come home for work or school, whatever the case, and I'm coming back to the house. So it haven't really affected me. I'm used to staying in the house, but it made me more into start doing filming again, working on more editing and shooting more, little stuff around the house. So that's the positivity in that. And trying to finish the website that we started. So
good luck.
It hasn't really affected me. It just gave me a few eye openers. That has done the most. It's who's there for you, who's not.
I think Khadijah was gonna go next. Khadijah, your turn.
Yeah, I said it hasn't affected me really much. It just has given me a few eye openers. Like, it shows you who's there for you, who's not, what you need to work on and what you need not to work on. And I actually think a lot more that I'm in the house now. Like, I never was a really outside person because I did a lot of that at a young age. So now I'm just ready to get my life together. That's it.
For me, it's I feel like it's a little different for me because like I said, well, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know about you guys, but I know I didn't have a home up until July. I didn't get into the house that Sanctuary Hope provided for me until July, and I was only there for a month before I moved out and came here to Louisiana. So once again, I'm still fresh off homelessness. It's only been July? It's only been 4 months, So for me, it's a little bit different. And before I go any further, I also want to say, I commend everybody else on this Zoom call, because I already know how hard it is, especially being youth, especially coming from the city that we come from, like, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, like I said, in the pandemic, it was hard because I was moving from place to place to place during the pandemic. And then you got to also understand, I was having to plead my case to people because they did not want me to allow me in their house because this pandemic was going around, and because I had to come in, I'm coming off the streets, and because I still have to go to work, I still got to go to work and still do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? I still got to do stuff that's going to have me, be able to move well. You know what I'm saying? And I was living with people who were kind of concerned about that. They may have their granny live with them and stuff like that. And I can't be mad at that. I have to understand that. I have to understand that they're looking out for their family just like you're looking out for you, and just like they're looking out for you by letting them in your house, by letting you in their house. So it's like at the end of the days when people ask me to leave, whether it's because they didn't have I wore my welcome or whatever, it was always like a little bit more difficult because it would be those couple days where it's like, damn, okay, I gotta get my stuff from over there. Okay, damn, I gotta go do this. I gotta find another place. I gotta do this, that, why. So for me, it was pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie, but I just thank God that He gave me the kind of heart that He gave me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like any lesser of a man, I would have tried to end it all, really, because it was hard, especially when this pandemic hit and everybody lost their job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I didn't I'm still waiting on my EDD. I still have not got my EDD. You know what I mean? I didn't have no job or anything. I didn't get a job until June. So I didn't get a job until June. So I mean, I didn't get paid until like June 24th, something like that. That was the first job I had in a minute. You know, so it was real hard. It was hard. It was real hard. But I can say this, that like I said, it just made me more responsible with a lot of stuff and more on top of stuff. You know what I mean? So with things being closed and everything like that, you just, their hours are restricted, phone lines are tied up. You just gotta, it made me more responsible on pointless stuff. Like I said, because during this pandemic, I still need to do stuff that I need to do. So I still need to call the welfare office, the DPSS, and all these other programs and whatnot, and do this and that. So it just kind of taught me how to just be a little bit more organized, more direct, and all around just more productive.
And Adam, I'll start with you for the next question. So do you see yourself as still overcoming a struggle, or do you feel you're at a place where you're like genuinely happy now?
That's kind of a hard question to answer for me, only because my choice of me being homeless was kind of on a choice of just me and my parents weren't looking eye to eye, and it was just that cliche, just my house, my rules. Well, I'm out of here then. You know what I'm saying? Make my own rules. And that's the funny part about it is people don't understand. I was probably at the happiest point in my life and the lowest point in my life at the same exact time, because I had never had the type of freedom I had before to do whatever I wanted to do. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. I could stay out as long as I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted. I can go do whatever I want. I can go TP somebody's house. I can go rob. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want with no consequences, but from the law. But at the other hand, I could do whatever I wanted, but I couldn't take a shower when I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't go use the restroom when I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't go in the refrigerator when I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a love and hate relationship. Like I said, because I never had that type of freedom before, and I was having fun, but I was also not being responsible either. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't even sit here and act like I wasn't the type of person to get money during the streets. So I got out the streets how I had to get it, But at the end of the day, whatever I was doing for that money, I still wasn't using that money in a great way. There's been multiple times where I could have put down on the house, could have put down on an apartment, I could have put down on a car, a bunch of things. But instead of doing that, I'm writing the passenger sheet to go spend $1,000 at Mastro's. You know what I'm saying? Like, just on some not even thinking stuff. And it's funny because just how you say, like, do you find yourself happy? The only reason why I did that is because I thought it would make me feel happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to one of the most expensive restaurants in LA, you know what I'm saying, spending $1,000, and I'm homeless. And that's what I was bragging about. Like, who that I got a house, I spent $1,000, not tripping about it, and it's just like, bro, you're an idiot. Right? What is that to brag about? That you could spend $1,000 on dinner, nigga. You could have put that on $1,000 down for your apartment, down payment, security deposit, but yet you throw it out at a restaurant that gets 10 times that every single night. Your little $1,000 don't mean nothing to them. They get regular people spend that in here in the night. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that the content really you have to change your mindset about what you're content with. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people could be content in their situation. You know what I'm saying? But right now, as we speak, am I content in my situation? I think so. Do I want to elevate? Yes. Could I be more happy? For surely. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, I'm in a house. The lease is in my name. You know what I'm saying? I have food in my refrigerator. Like, I got extracurriculars. I have my car outside. I got a PlayStation right here. So, yeah, I'm content right now. I'm in school. All my school is paid for. I'm not worried about nothing. Like, the only thing I'm worried about is this president. That's it.
You're right. And Rob and Cam, if you wanted to go next, same question. Like, how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel you're still in a struggle phase? Do you guys feel like you're a place where you're getting to be genuinely happy now?
Struggle like life in general, or from like the past situation that what we have been through?
As compared to the past, yeah.
The past, I feel I'm happier than before. I don't have to worry about try to call up on someone to have a shower, or if they would let me shower and they would try to trip off my girl showering. So right now I'm happy, but I know it don't end here, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm genuinely happy. I'm in my own space, my own rules. I can cook when I want to. I can plan things to make more future plans when I want to. So I'm genuinely happy because it's only up from here.
Beautiful.
Right. I'm content. I'm happy where I'm at now, but there's always steps ahead that I could be taking. So yeah, I'm doing better than what I was a few months ago and almost a year ago. So I'm happy with what I'm in now.
As you can see, I put on some weight too. So when we went to I'm sure she noticed that when we went to the office.
It's from that good cooking. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She's cooking more from that good cooking.
That too. I'm at my
Yeah.
own space now, so I can cook when I want to. I don't have to worry about nobody eating up all the food or telling me I can't do this or do that.
Man.
It's like a peace of mind, you know. You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry, you know.
Like bringing your own groceries in and not feel like you gotta like, oh, I bought you guys some groceries, you know
It's
what I'm saying?
fine.
Feeling like all timid and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could just walk in, I can be loud as I want, like, you know what I'm saying? Like this the things that you could never, like, you have to be cautious of at somebody else's house.
Right.
I don't have to be cautious of because at the end of the day, this is my house, like. You know what I mean? And it's not to like throw anything up anybody's face to like our parents or anything like that. It's just it just feels good to be out of the situation that we were in before, you know, to be in this situation now, to be able to be in our own space and do whatever we do. Like, and I just wish my parents could see me now because they used to be tripping about me cleaning my room and all this other stuff. Like, come look at my house now. You know what I'm saying?
Right, like,
No
super
complaints.
clean, super everything.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing is that like I have my own space now. Like I don't have to worry about anybody telling me anything, who I can have over, what to bring. And like him, you have a dog, right? When I was homeless, staying with people, I couldn't take my dog everywhere. So it was like hard. I had to send my dog far away and everything.
And that was, I ain't gonna lie,
things.
that was a hard thing for me too, because I'm an animal person. Like I really am an animal person. So it's just like I'm not gonna lie, when I was staying in my car, it was at one point where it got really bad. And somebody was and this dog, I had found this dog, it was just chained up to a pole in a park. And I'm pretty sure somebody just left it. It had a chain, it had a collar and everything. And see, come here. This is Slauson, everybody. This is my puppy. He's a spoiled little brat. But you know, like it's like I had got that dog because I was really feeling some type of way. You know,
it's like an emotional support animal.
It really was like it really was, and so you gotta realize like that I was sleeping with that dog in my car. It would sleep right in the front seat with me because I needed something to hold on to, so I wouldn't cry too hard, like for real. And it was hard because, like she said, I couldn't bring Nala everywhere with me, so sooner or later I had to give Nala away. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like that stuff kind of hurts, you know, but you kind of learn to live with it and make you stronger. But I don't know. But as soon as I moved here, like I'm talking about, as soon as I moved here, not even, I think 36 hours after I moved here, I got Slauson. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I just moved into my place with Sanctuary of Hope, helped me move into my place last month, the 13th. And I've been in this, I've been in the house since 13. It hasn't even been a whole month yet, but I just can't wait to go get my dog. Cause it's like, you know, when you don't have nobody, an animal, they can feel for joy for everything.
So, Khadija, I'll go with you for the next question then. So, how has your progress affected your understanding of who you were before and all your life choices to get you where you are now?
I would say before, like, I wouldn't think about anything. Like, I would just go with what's on my mind. Like, I wouldn't care about the consequences of anything or anything. I would just do anything. But now I have to think like I have a house with my name is under someone's lease. Like, you know, I have to take care of that. I have a lot of responsibilities ahead of me now. So I can't just go with the flow now. I have to be prepared of what's coming towards me and what I have to take care of. So I won't go back to where I was before.
Okay. 6. Adam, you want to go next?
Yeah. Look, I done gave him some attention. Now he want to be the star of the show. So,
Right.
but no, yeah, like, so baseball. Can you ask the question again to make sure I understand it?
So how has your progress affected your understanding of who you were before and all your life choices?
Oh yeah, for surely. So, this right here is probably one of the biggest questions that you can ask because I learned a lot about myself. Okay, go sit down. Go sit down. I learned a lot about myself, especially just as far as like how far I know I could push myself, how far I know I can go. I know how many days I can go without eating before my stomach really gets to start hurting. You know what I mean? So it's just like you learn a lot about yourself. And for me, I learned a lot about my mental toughness because I feel like physically I'm a pretty tough guy. You know, I grew up with Christian Slaughter, so I feel like I'm a pretty tough guy. But when I got out into, the streets, I realized I wasn't as tough as I thought, like physically or mentally, you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be times where like I said, like I was just breaking down crying. Like, and I'm not somebody who usually cries. I don't usually like to show emotion, but I'm talking about breaking down in tears. And I've become a lot more vulnerable, with just my emotions and things because I realized that one of the biggest barriers, like you were asking before, is my emotions. It's I wasn't letting go of a lot of the trauma I had in the past, and so that was preventing me from moving forward in the future. Like for instance, I had a girlfriend at the time when I first started being homeless, and she stopped talking to me about a year into me being homeless, but it was because I had the wrong attitude, the wrong mindset. She was helping me. I can't even sit here and act like she wasn't helping me do being a good girlfriend. It was just I wasn't taking the steps to be able to pursue, to further myself. I was just be dependent on her and everybody else because I felt like sooner or later, something's gonna happen, something's gonna fall into my lap, just like it always does, because I feel like I'm kind of lucky. And just like I said, stuff usually does fall into my lap, but it wasn't as falling into my lap as quickly as and precisely as stuff used to sit in, used to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you'll come into some money all of a sudden, like, damn, I needed this, like this came in good. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff started to happen slower and slower and slower, and stuff started to get more bleaker and bleaker and bleaker. And so I just learned that number one, that you have to be transparent with yourself, because if you're not transparent with yourself, you can't be transparent with anybody else. You have to be transparent about yourself, your situation, your feelings about the situation. And then a lot of times you have to be transparent about why you don't do the things that you need to do to get yourself out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, the barriers, like, why am I not doing this? What is preventing me from doing this? What is preventing me from going and getting a job or applying for jobs? So I think that at the end of the day, like, the stuff that I learned, like I said, is that, the stuff that I got mentally tougher. Like I said, I got more productive. I became more productive in a shorter amount of time with the little time I do have and the little resources I do have. Like I can make, one thing I know about me now for a fact is that, I said this on the last call when I was on last week, I call myself a scavenger. Because that's what it felt like. I was just scavenging for everything, everybody's loose scraps. I was grabbing at it. And so now I feel like I'm in this place where I done took all them scraps that I done got from everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I done got so many scraps that I made a solid foundation for my house. And so now I'm not getting scraps anymore. Now I'm starting to get pieces of metal or whatnot, however you want to use the analogy, So it's like, I'm not being a scavenger anymore. Now I'm being a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? Because now being a scavenger and apply me with the tools and acknowledging and the possibilities to move forward. So, but yeah, that's me.
So, my progress has made my understanding to how I was. I was naive, so I'm more open-minded and I'm more open to realizing what's in front of me and what's going on. Because at first I didn't pay attention. I was just going with the flow of life. If this happened, then so be it. If I found this job, then so be it, and I would go. But I wasn't really moving forward. So now I'm able to identify if I'm like slacking on something, or if I'm not really paying attention. I can pay more closer attention now to what's really in front of me, because you can have a pretty cool, like, starting with a job. I worked at a boutique for a while, and sometimes I would go in and then sometimes I wouldn't, and that would affect any type of plans that I would have to be able to get where I need to go. Or if I needed money to go do this, I can't do it because one day I decided to slack off on work. So it's just opened my eyes to noticing my habits, and the ones that are bad and the ones that are good.
I can say I'm in agreement to what Walker said. I agree with everything he said, but I can add on for myself. I have less patience for people who's not trying to do nothing. Like if I see how you move, I'm just gonna move away from you. I can't sit there and just try to give you, I can't babysit you, especially if I tell you that, how should I say it? I'm trying to, put it together so you guys can understand. Yeah, if I try to give you advice, or I see something happening ahead of time and try to let you know, and you tend to want to do what you do, I'm just going to, just let you do what you do and continue to do what I do. So I just became less tolerable for things like that and people like that. And it's sad, but hey, it's life. I can't tolerate it no more.
Especially the people that just want things handed to them and don't want
to
do
man,
They're not always want to come to you after you already done told them something. Like, bro, what's wrong with you? I didn't let you know what's up.
Yeah,
so like, it is what it is.
And that's what I'm glad you touched on that, because that was a big thing for me. Because for me, while being homeless, honestly, I don't game bang, but I live off Slauson and Crenshaw, and so that's where my stomping grounds was. So I started to hang out with the gang members, and then and all types of shit. And then not only it's crazy, because one day they one of my boys told me, and it kind of just really blew my mind. And it was just like, dang, I really done got accustomed to this type of lifestyle. And he told me, he was just like, you one of the only homies that ain't really homies that hang out with us every day. And I said, nah, what you talking about? He said, yeah, bro, you the only person that ain't got beat up yet that still hang out with us. And I was just like, it had to make me think. And I was just like, and I'm like, why is that? Because I realized they felt like I was one of them, because I was sleeping in trap houses just like them. I was sleeping in the spots. I was doing the same thing that they was doing every single day, hanging with them, living that vagrant lifestyle. But then it's funny, the other part, because people were like, you hang out with us every day, you do this every day, why you don't get your put on? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's like, I mean, everybody knows where 60s is at. Everybody knows where it's at. And so I'd have just been falling into another statistic in the book. And the only reason why I didn't do it is because I already seen how it was going down. Everything was going down. Like I told you, I was hanging with these same people every single day. So I seen the same people who was snaking this dude, you know what I'm saying, talking mess behind this dude. And then not only that, they notorious for killing each other over there. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to elevate to something more. And just like how you said, you just start to see how people move, and you start to see how people get. And it's just like, I can't be around that. I can't do that.
It's only going to drain you mentally. And
you know what I'm saying?
And
then as I'm trying to elevate myself, I'm trying to elevate others as well. Like the same times I'm homeless, I'm getting jobs. I got this job at this company named Clutter, right? And at that moment in time, they was hiring left and right, anybody, left and right. And I got on, and I was making like $16 an hour when I got on. And then they was even having drivers. You could be a felon, it don't matter. All you had to do was have a driver's license. And you was making $19 an hour. So I'm putting all my homies on it. And I know for a fact, I work there, so I know for a fact stuff is going down. And I just remember this was like the first lesson that stuck in my head. I had a homie, and he was like, yeah, bro, I see you. Because he seen me, I was working. I finally got out of the car. He's like, yeah, let me get a job. And so I sent it to him. I sent him everything. And then I came back a couple of days to ask him about it. Yeah, bro, they didn't even hit me back.
Sometimes you got to follow up too. You can't just always
but it's like, I know the fact about it that bro was lying, because at the end of the day, I had sent that same link to multiple people. I'm talking about people with felonies, murder charges, and all that type of stuff. And they get interviews. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna tell me you didn't get a call back, bro? They called me after when I put my application in, they called me the same day. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I know for a fact that you capping, bro. And so it's like, I can't be around that. I can't let you bring me down, because I know where I'm going. Well, I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going up. and I know you staying right here. That's what I do know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to stay right here with you, because staying right here with you is gonna get me shot, killed, robbed, something. Like it's not going. I'm not going to elevate. And that's that's something I just have to say, because that just, when he said that just put into my mind. Just so many people just ran through my head when I said that. When he said that, like I had to realize I had to cut a lot of people off. You know, I have to cut a lot of negative energy off, men and women. You know what I'm saying? Because the same thing, women that don't want you to succeed, they want you to stay. You know, they want that hood nigga mentality, and I'm not him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not my only mentality. That was my mentality because I was being brainwashed, and that's the only thing I was in at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going to get into that mentality, shooting, robbing, and killing, but I didn't want that to be me. You know, like after I went to jail, I was just like, oh yeah, no, this not it. Like I remember Nipsey Hussle in his one of the songs, you know, smokers smelling like dogs. You know, you got to get up out of here. I want something different. I don't want to go back to this. Like. I'm sorry to take up that card. That happened.
And one thing as I got older and I peeped about people, I think the reason they want to remain in that mindset or where they at, because they don't want to take on responsibility. Because now when you're aware of what you're doing, now you're responsible for what you're doing. And that's why some tend to play like, oh, I didn't know, when they already knew. You know, it's like an excuse.
Exactly
like,
what's going to happen or how it would end. That's why they played that role. That's how people do.
And that kind of leads into the next question, actually. So it's like, what do you feel you've outgrown, or what do you feel you've had to sacrifice for the new you, for you to be who you are now? Like, what have you had to get rid of? What have you had to like kind of outgrow? So Robbie can answer that first.
I can answer it. As I was going back to like, you know, the crowd, I wasn't around a lot of negative people. I knew a lot of negative people, but I wasn't really around them. And just the people I would hang, you know, that I would play ball with or, you know, box with. After that, they wouldn't want to, wouldn't want to do anything with their life. So I kind of overgrown that. And as well as, you know, I don't listen to a lot of rowdy music, but music can also play a key part in your mindset. You know, words is powerful. So, you know, you just got to tune down on what you're listening to, and then, you know, and watch out what people say about you or what you say about people.
Yeah, and also I can agree with, I shed some of my habits of just letting things happen. Like I said, I was naive. I wasn't paying attention to what was like directly in my face, smacking me in my face. I had to let go of some friendships that I thought was there for me emotionally, but in reality, they were kind of anchoring me in the same mindset because I was on a different path than they were. If you're hanging around people that you're only there for fun, like a lot of relationships in your life, they have their reasons. And I was keeping those relationships as reasons to like just have fun, not think about the responsibilities that I have that's different from what somebody else might have, the people that I was hanging around. So friendships, mindsets, and my old self, I basically shed it. I'm no longer that person. You can ask somebody I probably see on the street, they're going to ask me a question about how I used to be or my habits. And I'm like, no, I don't do that. They're going to be like, that's crazy. Because sometimes when you grow, you got to shed some stuff that you feel comfort in, or some things that you want to do. You going to have to either come back to it or just let it go altogether. Because obviously you're not moving anywhere if you're doing these things. They're affecting you, anchoring you to the same spot in some way or form.
Okay.
It's right about that, like negativity and relationships, even friendships, as she said. And I have an example, like as of me, like last year I became homeless around August, and I was in a relationship. You know, we were going through things together. It's a new year. Around May, you know, I got, like, he left me, you know, out by myself. We were going through things together, staying in motels, staying with people, or even in the car together. And as she said, you shed, you grow, you see things for what it is and what it could be or what it could have not been. But yeah, you grow from like the past. It shows you what's better for you and what was worse for you and how to move forward towards it.
Yeah, I can see that a lot. Just like you said, relationships. I said I had a girlfriend. She was doing a lot for me. The problem with that, she stayed in Riverside, so I would have to make it to Riverside. you know, a lot. But I was staying with her almost every day. I was always making my way to Riverside almost every day until, like you said, she decided that she couldn't do it no more. She up and leave. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't homeless. She actually went to school. You know what I'm saying? So I would stay at her dorm room with her. So she wasn't homeless or anything like that. So she wasn't going through any of that type of stuff. So it was just like, but at the end of the day, she probably kind of seen that I wasn't really like trying to elevate. I was just chilling where I was at. But I can say that it's for the better, because even though like when she left me, I start like spiraling out. After I finished my little spiral out episode, it was like all gas, no brakes. You know what I'm
Right, and
saying? I
sorry
was
to cut
like,
you off, but that was the same for me too. Like, you know, I was dwelling on like why, what happened, what did I do, what could I do to get it back? But you know, like at the end of the day, I had to think about it, because before we became homeless together, it's not like I was just homeless by myself. We became homeless together. Before that, I was in like a program, and I had roommates, and he was staying with me. Like I sacrificed my whole living situation for somebody to end up leaving me at the end. But now it's a big accomplishment because I'm back into my own place again. So I just feel like I accomplished so much.
No, exactly. You know, and so like also it's a different way of just like thinking about it. Is like you guys were saying, friendships. Like I had to cut off friendships, homies, all types of stuff. And also for me, like I pride myself as being a nice person, because my father has a temper. I have a temper, but it takes a long time for me to get to where my temper explodes. But because of that, I try to be like a very passive person, a really nice person, like, you know, because I don't want to get to that point where I start tripping, because I've been at that point before. So from like 18 to about 21, I was like being real passive about stuff, and I saw that wasn't really working either. I'm like, okay, it don't work when I'm hella angry about stuff, but it don't work when I'm hella nice about stuff. Like how does it work? Like you know, how does it work? And I found out what works for me is I stopped being so passive and so angry all the time, and I just started being very direct. If that makes more sense. Like I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. I'm not gonna sit here and do nothing with you. I'm just gonna do what I do and make my move, and you just gonna have to act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just gonna have to be, because I'm not gonna sit here and have a conversation with you anymore, because I can't do that. Like I realize, like especially nowadays, people's gonna sit there and talk with you, and they gonna sit here and as long as they have their own opinion, and you can't convince them of nothing. So I'm like, I stopped doing that. So I stopped trying to explain anything to everybody. I just make moves, and you got to move accordingly. And if you don't move accordingly, I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, right now, the only person I have to worry about me right now is me and Slauson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and that's who I got, like, period. Like, that's really what I'm on. And right now, I don't know if y'all can hear, like, a real passion on voice, but this is where I'm at right now, where it's just like, I don't have people talk down at me. My father, my mother, my stepmom, people, homies. I done had so many people talk down at me. You ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. Or what you gonna do this? You can't stay here. You can't do this. Like, I got tired of hearing it. Real talk. And so it's just like, this is where my all gas, no brakes come in. Like, you know, it's a song that I like, once again, like you said, music plays a big role. And it's not just because I grew up on Slauson and Crenshaw. I mean, that's obviously a big part of it. I used to see Nip all the time before he died. Not when he got big, when I'm talking about when he was young, when 2011, 2012, 2010, he really used to stand on the corner of Slauson and Crenshaw. And that's what's really crazy that blew my mind. Like, I ain't really know Nip like that. He would just say what's up to me because I was a kid around the neighborhood and he recognized my face. You know what I'm saying? I'll be riding my bike up and down the street. But when he started getting big, 2013, 2014, 2015, I started seeing things that he was doing. I started listening to the music, really, really listening to music, not just the mainstream stuff everybody was doing. He started speaking to me. It's this song he has called I Can Never Lose. Song came out in 2012. People don't really know the song. But it's called I Can Never Lose. I think it's called Bullets Ain't Got No Names, Volume 2. Mm-hmm. But I used to listen to that song at least 20 times every morning. And his song is not really even sad. I just cry in tears just because it's just like, I have to be motivated. I have to make moves. I have to be direct. I have to. Like, I can't lose. The only way I'm going to lose is if I make myself lose. You know what I'm saying? Because the only way I'm going to succeed is all off my own moves, all off my own success, all of my own actions. So I realized like, okay, like all gas, no brakes. I don't care what nobody else saying. Once again, like, I just use all types of analogies. I don't know if you've ever seen the Cat Williams a little comedy special. He's like trying stuff and it don't work. Trying stuff and stuff and don't work. Trying stuff and it don't work. That's where I was at, where it's just like I'm trying it don't work, and I'm gonna keep trying. Ain't nobody gonna stop me trying till I bust through that wall, till I break down that barrier, till I get around it, above it, around it, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna get through it. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. I'm the type of person, like, my knuckles is gonna be bloody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to my last ounce of strength is, because that's how I am right now. That's where my heart is, because I want to succeed. I want to do better for me. But not only for me, this is not even for me no more. This is for my offspring. You know what I'm saying? The offspring that I don't even have, because right now I'm content right here. But is my offspring gonna be content here? That's the question I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool, but are the people that come after me, are they gonna be good? So that's what I'm doing it for right now.
And that kind of leads into the next question as well. It's like, next question is, tell me a time when you had to motivate yourself, and what advice would you have given the old you?
Well, like I just said, like, don't listen to nobody else. Listen to you. Listen to your heart, because you the only person who know what you want to do. Like, for instance, me, one of my biggest issues was with my father. My father's a firefighter, and he wanted me to become a firefighter, which wasn't an issue until I didn't want to become a firefighter no more. You know what I'm saying? Until I realized I didn't want to do it. And I didn't really know what else to do, because I had been doing firefighting for so long. He had been putting me in a little junior firefighter thing since I was like 16. And so I aged out at 21. So you got to realize I was damn near a firefighter already. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I was one, but damn near. I was in there for 5 years. I knew everything they did. I was staying in the fire station all the time. And so when that got taken away from me, I was lost, because I didn't know what to do. Like, I really didn't know what to do. And so all I could say is the advice I would give my old self is don't get discouraged and don't listen to anybody, because that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm listening to people, don't get me wrong, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't listen to nobody. For real. Like, don't listen to nobody about what they say. I remember this old head told me that you know when somebody's talking to you, you know what's for you and you know what's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what's for you and what's not for you. Because it's like, you even know what he's saying or what she's saying might not be for you right now, but you know it's for you because it might be for you later. You know what I mean? Like, it's at least me, because I already know like, it'd be some stuff that'd be in my head and it just happened. You're like, oh, so that's what OG was talking about way back when. Like, it makes sense now, you know? But still, just listen to yourself. Like, because when you start listening to other people, you start getting their ideas in your head. You start getting their ideas in your head. You know what I mean? That wasn't your idea at the first place. That's their idea now. Like, you have to go off of what you want. That's what I do. I go off of everything I want. Whatever I want is what I want, because that's the only thing I'm going to be content and happy. Like, I'm not going to do what everybody else is want, because I'm not answering nobody. Like, that's what I had to stop. I had to stop feeling like I had to answer to everybody. I had to stop feeling like I had to answer to, like, you know, people that, you know, that's what I did.
Okay.
I can say just to not dwell on the past, like, let everything move forward. Everything happens for a reason, you know.
Okay.
Just fighting through the struggles, you know. Like I mentioned before, you know, I never looked at the situation. Now I looked at the after effect. So that's what kept me pretty much going.
Okay, going off of the question, the time I had to motivate myself when we were apartment seeking. It was kind of hard, especially being homeless and you trying to look for it. And a lot of people at the time, last year during the summer and beginning of this year, everybody was looking for apartments. The places we called, oh, we're booked. Oh, well, we're rented out. Oh no, we don't do this. We don't take that. It was really hard, especially when it got close to like the breaking point. It was pretty stressful. And what I basically told myself as advice is like, you've already been past the worst, being in a shelter, staying in the car, being in rapparee houses, staying in a place with some strangers that probably got their own issues. We already got past all of that. And the fact that me and him are here now, looking for our own place after overcoming all of that, dealing with people and everything, we can get through anything because you've already been with the worst. You already been past it. You already been homeless, on the street, house hopping, whatever the case may be. You've done it already. So even if it does happen somehow in the future, God forbid that it doesn't, you already know how to deal with it. You already know that there's help. There's people like Sanctuary of Hope out there that can help you because you always need a support system, whether it's a dog or it's a person or it's the program that you're in. So my advice to myself and anybody else is just like, you've already been through the worst. Just keep going.
Yeah, because we was on the verge of going to Colorado. Like, I already heard my cousin, like, yo, fam's is tripping right now. So, like, they was cool with me coming, but I'm not going to leave my girl out because I don't ride like that. You feel me? We've been through so much. I ain't the type to be like, okay, I'm going to go. You can go do what you do. No, I practice what I preach. I'm going to stick to you through the struggles. Even if I got to go through it, just don't play me. You feel me? But, yeah, so it was one of those things. And as a man, as a young man, it hurts, You know how it is, Adam. We men, so it's like, damn. Sorry, excuse my language, but it's like, man, I'm not gonna even front. I even teared up. She don't even know it. I cried sometimes when she was asleep because it was like, man. But like I said, I always looked at the after effect. So that's what kind of kept me here.
And I know, and this is just on a side note, is that I do want to speak about this, especially just with the young males. Is because one thing that was big for me is that, like, I'm not going to cry. I ain't going to cry. I'm not going to be a punk. I'm not going to do this. I'm finna get through it. Like, no, dog, let it out. Let it out, for real. Because you going to sit there and do that, that anger is going to turn to something totally different. Like, it was nice that, like, I'm ashamed to say this, but it's like, it was nice where it was just, I swear I had, like, demonic things in my head where I'm just angry at the world, at people, where I'm like, I wanna get off this car right now. I wanna go shoot up, wop, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what turns these young men into these killing machines, what turns them into these junkies, what turns them into these monsters, because we have all these demons inside our head that we don't know how to deal with. And thankfully, it's people like me and him that was able to work through it. But what about this young man that's in the same situation as us? You know what I'm saying? And people want to blame them. No, you can't blame them fully because they're just a product of their environment, a product of what's happening. They don't have any, in a lot of times, they don't even have the tools, resources, nor the knowledge on how to go find the tools or resources. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just by the love, once again, by the grace of God. Like, I tell the story all the time. Miss Lulu, you were there. I don't think you remember. The only reason why I found out about Sanctuary of Hope was because I was walking by being nosy at school. I was at West LA, and all I heard was, we'll put you in housing. And my ears perked up. I'm like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, housing. I heard that. Okay, period. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on my way. You feel me? And it took me a long time because that was back in 2019 that I met Miss Lulu. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I remember exactly where it was. It was in the quad at West LA. And I got her card. And from right then and there, I'm not gonna say stuff was looking up, but that was a step. And it was something that you said that I also want to touch on, is that, like you said, a lot of times people don't realize you've already gone through the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Like what I didn't realize for me, the hard part for me wasn't even really, even though it was hard, getting them moving from house to house and stuff like that. The hardest part for me was the first 2 months month and a half where I didn't know what to do. I'm talking about for 2-3 weeks straight. I'm sleeping in bushes. I'm sleeping in dirt. I had to find a place where I can sleep so won't nobody mess with me, so I can stay asleep and I can get the sleep that I need, and so won't nobody mess with me, so I won't, so I can be safe. You know what I'm saying? So I can get my sleep and I can be safe. But I'm like, you get tired of it when you waking up with bugs on you. You know what I'm saying? You waking up shivering. nose running because you ain't got the stuff. I'm talking about I was doing any and everything. I had to cut holes in my socks to pull them all the way up so I can make makeshift leg warmers because I was walking around the hood all night, and it was cold. And my clothes was all the way across town at somebody's house, but I couldn't stay with them, but I could leave my clothes there though, because I could have a place for storage. Like that stuff was hard. Like I had to keep a change of clothes with me at all times. And I had to, if I wanted to, wanted to go wash them, I had to sit around without no underwear on at the laundromat in my pants. Like it was hard. It was just a bunch of stuff that was going on. Like, but just know, anybody that's watching this, a lot of times your hardest part is right at the beginning. Real talk, because you've never dealt with this before. Once you've been in it for a minute, you kind of understand. You kind of like. After a while, after I got kicked out my first, not kicked out, but after I was asked to leave from the first time, I was been at probably about 6-7 houses in the last 2 years where I've been residing. And after I got like removed for the first 2, it started to get regular. The first one, I ain't gonna lie, boy, crying. Like, damn, where am I gonna go? I thought I was gonna be, but I should have known I was gonna be able to stay there for all that time. Cause I didn't know how long it's gonna take me to get back on my feet. Like it's like, man, but that's what I really want to touch on was for young men. Like anybody watching this, young men, you are not alone. Let it out, brother. Like for real. Like don't sit there and hold it all in, because the more you hold it in, the more dangerous of an individual you can come to yourself and the others. For real. Like for real.
When that hit me is when we were staying at my brother's, and he had, a situation that happened when he had to leave. So, we had to leave too. And that's when it hit me. I mean, I had a Nissan Altima at the time. I grew up in the jungle. So, what Jim Gilliam is. I'm sure you know that area. So we was parked in the back. So we stayed there for slept in the car for like a week or two. It was like a week or two, right? A week, probably more than that. And then it came to the time we came back and the car was gone. So now I'm definitely nervous. Like, damn. Because, grandma's was acting funny a little bit. But thankfully, she let us stay. And that's when, Doug came, with the bridge house. So everything kind of, played its part, which is good. And then from there, we just went up. But I didn't know what was going through my head. I was angry. I was sad. I was, like, damn, how you just going, you feel me?
Hey, ain't that the worst when you come back and your house gone?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, that's something that you like, huh? Did I lose it? Like, what? Yeah, I remember they did that I had an Infinity. I remember they did that to my Infinity because I was 25% in the red. My back bumper was 25% in the red, and my Infinity already had too many tickets on it. So the next ticket it needed to get towed. And it didn't have all the registration and stuff up. So I just bought it from the auction. That's what I was doing. I was buying all my cars from the auction because they was cheap, but they ran. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going for it. Oh, it was cheap and they ran. And I remember because I had too many tickets on it, and I was so mad because I had to go and I had all my stuff in that trunk and all, like, man, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah. It was personal stuff in the car and stuff. So
birth certificate, social security card, like
your life.
That stuff get hectic. I'm talking about transcripts for school, like all that type of stuff that I really need to get the stuff that I really need.
That's facts.
Well, last question, and I think you guys kind of covered this as well. How did Sanctuary of Hope help support the birth of a new you?
Man,
for
real though, from everywhere from Ms. Lulu to Doug, you know what I'm saying, to what's his name?
Andre,
you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, Miss Kelly, my son, everybody, like for me at least, like they've been like, when I tell you, like multiple stepping stones. I'm talking about times where, Sanctuary, all I could help, when I got that first call saying that, somebody moved out of our rapid rehousing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can come in, and then the fact about it that my house was right around the corner from Sanctuary of Hope on Hawthorne. It was right around the corner it was funny, like, this is how I knew I was supposed to succeed. So the job that I ended up getting was working with LASA, which is the Los Angeles, ironic enough, was the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, right? And so I got a job with LASA, and my boss ended up being this African-American lady that took a liking to me, who ended up living 5 minutes away from the house that rapper rehousing put me in. So not only did I have that connection, my boss lived around the corner from my house, who was very, very instrumental in helping me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she even went with me to go buy my car. Lady barely knew me. She met me in April, and in June, when I got my little stimulus check, she went with me to help me buy a car. You know what I'm saying? It was just those type of things that I knew was happening. Doug had called me saying that all I need to write was some kind of thank you letter or something like that for some people, and I got a $200 gift card that helped me so much on my way coming out here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many things that I can say. Sanctuary Hope. Look, Sanctuary Hope paid my rent last month when I wasn't gonna make it because I just moved out here and we had a hurricane and I had to throw away all my food and stuff like that. They paid my rent for last month, which I'm so appreciative of. You know, it's so many things that Sanctuary Hope, and just individualized people, just the words of encouragement I've gotten from Doug and my son, and just like tap ins from people, and even Kayla. Like, Kayla always taught, she's very nice. She just brightens up my day. I just really think Sanctuary Hope is a blessing for me. Really, like, really a blessing. I just hope I can be a blessing to, Sanctuary Hope, or any of y'all here, or anybody that's watching. Like, I can put my number, anything, any advice. I got contacts too. One thing I pride myself on is I didn't pay nothing when I went through West LA, and I didn't have no financial aid or nothing. So it's ways to get through stuff. So it's always little knickknacks and things, but Sanctuary Hope is a blessing. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm all in agreement too. They helped a lot, from Lulu to Doug to Andre. I'm sure it's a lot of, bro. Those are the main people that we aware of. But yeah, they helped a lot, definitely a lot, man.
Yeah, they helped so much.
And they still offer, sorry to cut you off, and they still, they still stick by our side, so, I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Seriously.
Yeah, if anybody is watching this, they are the best thing that can happen to you. They're a second family. They're awesome support for anything that you're going through, the advice and the programs and the suggestions that they give you, because the first step to anything is you deciding to do it. Somebody can give you the information that you need, but you got to put the foot forward.
You got to play your part too.
Not somebody else. It can't just be handed to you. You have to have some part in it. So Sanctuary of Hope has done a lot, and on the break of like the line about to break, they have always been there.
Right. All
Yeah,
facts.
it helps a lot. Like, as of now, I'm housed because of Sanctuary of Hope. And another thing that they helped me with, as of becoming more open, like, because the old me, I don't think I'll be able to, not be brave enough. I wouldn't say brave, but I wouldn't get on this and explain what I've been going through or the things that I'm going through. I don't think I'll be able to do that if it wasn't for Sanctuary of Hope. Like, they helped me with a lot, like becoming open more and everything. So yeah, they do help with a lot.
Well, from the bottom of my heart, individually, me, and then, from everyone here at Sanctuary of Hope, I just want to say I am so proud of all of you. You have all, just as we have touched your lives, you have touched our lives, and I just want to thank you. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for really trusting us as not only just being a part of our program, but just working with us and showing us your commitment as well to wanting to allow us to give you a chance to, really overcome your struggles and really push for a better you. So thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lulu, and Khadijah, and Kim, and Adam, and help me with the other. Kim, who's the other person? Sorry. Who am I leaving out? Help me.
Rob. It's all right. It's okay.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
Okay.
Getting older, I'm starting to have mature moments. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I think what's really important that the audience has been able to get from your kind of really rich discussion is about just overcoming. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of steps, but it also shows you guys' fortitude to just deal with life and just take those challenges on and take it to a whole new level. I mean, some of the things that I was listening for was, when you talked about family and how family played a role in that, even the families who may not have been as supportive to take you in, but even the new families that you worked to create. So whether it was the families that you created with staff members or the families that you found outside or built social networks with, all of those became important. And one of the things that Adam mentioned, and I really want to lift this up too, because here in South LA, a lot of homeless youth or youth who have experienced homelessness, especially in the Crenshaw, Slauson area, always talk about Nipsey Hussle and Nipsey's kind of openness to talk to them, be very open, treat them with dignity and respect, to provide them with some form of life lessons or life nuggets that help them get through just to get through where they were at in life. And sometimes when people talk about Nipsey, no one ever points to that one major fact about him, is that a lot of homeless youth in South LA engaged with him, and he treated everyone with dignity, respect, openness, and non-judgment. And so that's why his marathon will always continue, because he's left something within our community. The other thing that you mentioned that came out of this was, a part of this whole journey of overcoming is your life path changes, right? So as you're having all these new experiences, things are changing, whether it's for those of you who are pursuing your higher education goals, your majors are changing, right? Where you want to put all your emphasis on. Some of you are going back to things that you love and you do well, whether it's filming, I heard filming, building a website. So that means that your motivation is there. You're doing things that are really personal and important to you. The other thing is, I think Adam said the word emotional stepping stone, right? And so this whole process is about all these changes and who's in your corner to be that emotional support and that emotional stepping stone. And all of that comes with self-discovery, the mental toughness that relates to the fortitude, again, within, the resiliency that you all have found within. And I think you all are a strong, living testimony to what overcoming really means for young people who are presented with barriers and challenges. And so again, I want to thank you very much for sharing your personal experience, sharing your stories. And before we close, I would like for you to share with our audience an inspirational word that you would leave for a young person experiencing homelessness. Who would like to start first?
Just perseverance, endurance, unyielding. Honestly, that's the only way that you're gonna be able to go, is just keep pushing. Ain't nothing gonna be easy. Ain't nothing that's easy, especially homelessness. Especially homelessness as a youth, definitely not easy, because you barely know how to be an adult. Now you're doing it on the fly while you ain't got nowhere to live. It's just perseverance. Keep it pushing. Keep it going, because at the end of the day, it's not the end of the day.
All right.
Just focus.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just say focus. Just keep focused. I say, so don't look at what's going on now. Look at the after effects when you see yourself at.
I say results, because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, there's going to be a result of it. And if you keep doing good, all you're going to get is positive results.
Awesome. Khadijah?
Stay strong and never give up. Everything happens for a reason. Just always have yourself before you try to have the next.
And Miss Lulu, as an emotional support person with Sanctuary Hope and the work that you do with young people?
I would say faith plus action. Just faith, you know, whether it's religious faith, faith in your family, faith in yourself, just faith, and then plus that action component of just like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and just do it.
Great. All right, audience, I want to thank you again for joining us another year for our National Homeless Youth Awareness Month. Please be sure to leave us any comments within the comment section. And also, if you're out and you're visiting Sanctuary of Hope on 10th and Adams, and you see our yard installation, please feel free to take pictures, but also post your pictures using the hashtag #HYAM2020 for Homeless Youth Awareness Month. Thank you all again, and have a great afternoon.
All right, you
Thank you.
too. No problem.
Say bye, Sloths.
All right, y'all be safe.